Hey guys, welcome to Riders Meeting from round two of the SMX series at Texas Motor Speedway. I'm your host, Brent Bowser. We're here today with Jeff Beaver. What's going on, Jeff?
Ah, just trying to recover from this weekend. It was brutal. Everybody was smoked. That track was hammered dog, you know what? The weather was hot as hell. That was the hottest race of the year. It was pretty freaking rough out there.
Yeah, I mean, you could just see from the track in the morning, they had it super wet, obviously, because of the heat. They knew what was coming. And then, yeah, dude, by the end of that race, the second moto, even the first moto, it was just blue grooved holes. Those guys were spinning off everything, lots of crashes from spinning. And then you saw a couple of the posts that you made behind the scenes, behind the podium. You saw like Tomac. Everybody was just stripping down, trying to get cooled down. They were struggling out there.
So, interesting thought on that. You looked at Tomac, dude. He was hot.
Yeah.
Even Ping chimed in and, y'all can say what you want. Ping ain't a doctor, but he's a paramedic firefighter. He knows what he's talking about, right? And he said Eli he was
Hooked.
there, right? And I think it kind of affected his second moto a little
Yeah.
bit. I mean, he couldn't get enough water on him. I didn't post everything that was in there, out of respect, but he was pretty hot. If you looked at Jett and Hunter and Chase, Chase's hair wasn't even really wet. And I think that and Deegan was the same thing. All the guys who train in Florida,
Yeah.
they were head and shoulders above as far as not looking smoked compared to everybody else who came off there. I mean, I saw Jett Reynolds after the LCQ, he did a 5 minute plus of what a lap.
Yeah. It was not a lot. Yeah.
And he was sweating like a whore in church, right?
Dude.
And dude, so that right there tells you why those guys are training in Florida.
Yeah.
And there's something you just can't beat training in those conditions because when you go somewhere else, it's just not as bad. So that just goes to show how gnarly those dudes are. If they're training in 100% humidity in 90, 100-degree weather in
Hmm.
Florida, and then they're coming out and AP is the only exception. He looks like a tattered rag doll. He could race in Alaska in the winter and look like a tattered rag doll when he's done, but that's but
Yeah.
everybody else, you could see a huge difference between them and guys like Tomac and Shimoda. I don't know if Shimoda trains down there all the time, but he looked pretty smoked too. But
Yeah, yeah, and Shimoda's in California still with the Nick Way program and that I didn't even think about that. You're right. You think about the guys that were up front, Chase. I mean, they post those videos of all them riding during the week and they're just dripping sweat sitting under a tree after a moto or whatever. And so yeah, those guys are probably a lot more used to it than Tomac, Colorado. I'm sure it's gotten warm up there in the summertime, but it's just not the same as the heat and humidity of Florida
but
or
you know who
Texas.
you know who topped them all, who was looking at everybody like they're a bunch of pussies, was Juju. Because I don't care about heat and humidity. When you're riding a motorcycle in 120 plus degree weather in Lake
That
Havasu,
was yeah,
photos and Davey's calling you out, going, "Get out here, get going," and
yeah.
just Juju didn't look smoked, but that it doesn't have the humidity. But I lived in Havasu for a long time, and about above 115 degrees, dude.
Yeah,
It's just,
it's miserable.
yeah, I don't care if there's humidity or not. It's brutal. So
Yeah.
Juju's on another level. Either go train in Florida or go train in Havasu with Juju if you just want to be a straight beast.
To be honest, yeah, I'd rather go to Florida beaches and stuff. Yeah, Havasu has a lake, but other than that, it's not very pretty to look at. So, um, yeah, I'm curious. Hey, so we saw how that track was. I heard, lots of opinions. I think it was just dangerous.
Track was hammered dog shit.
Yeah, it was. The dirt was horrible. It's probably the worst track I've ever seen. Been watching these races, since 1999, so it's not that long. But yeah, it was pretty bad. And then kind of leads me to my next question because Vegas is going to be hot. Also, I looked at the weather, and I'm sure it'll change a little bit, but it was like 98 degrees Saturday. It's going to be. That's what it says. And so even though it's at night,
I looked at it, it was going to be in the high 80s, but yeah, it's a night race. So it's going to be a complete different ball game because in the desert, I don't care
cools
if it's
down.
in the day, as soon as that sun breaks over the mountain, it'll be in the 70s, maybe 80s during the race. It'll be a complete different ball game. Yeah, it'll suck during the day,
Yeah.
especially for fat, out of shape filmers wearing all black on the track. That's always fun. But hey, I signed up for it, so quit being a pussy. But it's going to be a night race. It's going to be a total different ball game.
Yeah, it'll be cool going back to Vegas for the first time in quite a few years. Missed going there for the final round of the Super Series. It's cool they're bringing that back. It's at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, so another Speedway type track, but it's at night, like you said. And man, we got a showdown coming into the final race between Hunter Lawrence, Chase Sexton, and Jett Lawrence. Hunter has that 1 point lead over Chase and a 9 point lead over his brother Jett. But again, it because this weekend is triple points, it's whoever wins out of those three, it's winner take all. So I think
Now, with the points, Tomac's what, 30
tw- tw-
something points down?
he's 21 points down.
So is he mathematically still in it?
Yeah, he is, right? Let's say he wins, that's 75 points. So again, he'd need a lot of help from all three of those guys having really bad races. Um,
Stranger shit's happened.
yeah, for sure. But out of those three, between Hunter, Chase, and Jett, whoever, if any of those three win, they win the whole thing. So it's a winner take all. I hope the track gives us a track that they can actually be aggressive on and have good racing. Which last weekend yesterday we saw that they're really you could be
It's
aggressive.
Vegas. It's going to be dry blue groove.
Yeah. So hopefully we get some good racing again. We have those that pretty much winner take all showdown. Chase got his revenge back this weekend. Those first three motos of SMX, I think were pretty frustrating for him. And yeah, he got that start second moto. I know there a lot of guys went down, but yeah, he got that 13-second lead. And by the time Jett got in a second, there was really nothing Jett could do to catch Chase. So it was cool to see Chase get a win. But yeah, it's curious to see how his confidence is going to this final round, knowing that maybe he found some stuff on the bike, but just not 100% sure yet.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's playing Yahtzee. Just throw the dice and you better hope you got it right, you know. Jett was visibly flustered behind the podium. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Um,
I asked that question in the press conference. I don't know if you caught that.
yeah. And Hunter he was very politically correct in his reply to you. I'll put it that way. Hunter came off the track. Did I win? I was
Yeah.
dying laughing. I'm like, really? But Cameron had overall written on the pit board, and then he went off the track and he's like erasing
Oh, oh,
shit.
I know. I didn't. I forgot about that last lap, bro. I'm
Yeah,
like, oh,
he had overall on the board, and then uh
they
uh
went off the track.
Hunter went off the track, so he erased that shit. He goes, I don't want to jinx him. And then so he came by the last lap and there was nothing on the board. He didn't know. So he pulled in, he goes to the truck driver, he goes, did I win? And the truck driver, he's pretty salty. He's funny. He goes, nah, you lost. And he went, huh? And he goes, nah, you won. And he goes, oh, cool, mate. And he
Yeah,
takes his
yeah.
heart out or his helmet off, goes and gets a bottle of water, and it was like a Tuesday afternoon. It was like it was the weirdest reaction, you know. That's why I asked him about the press conference. Like, kind of funny, man. You say, did I win? And then you're just like, no, cool. You grabbed the water and went and sat down, like no big deal. But he's like, I just didn't want to look like a complete jackass and everybody. So
Yeah.
that's the wisdom of Hunter, right?
Yeah, and that's one thing about Hunter. If even the ups and downs, he never really gets too high, never gets too low. He's pretty even keel. Even again, that's a first overall win that he's gotten on a 450. And yeah, like you said, I'm sure he's stoked and excited. Uh, but he keeps level head knowing he's still got a job to do next weekend. But yeah, that was a solid ride from him. That first moto, the 450, was really good with Tomac getting in third and chasing those guys down. Jett getting past Hunter, and then Jett stalled his bike before that rhythm, so that allowed those guys to get by. And Jett was definitely upset of himself, probably for that and maybe some other reasons. But yeah, it was a good first moto, and I think that second moto, like you said, I think I was expecting Tomac to be up there with those guys, and yeah, he just really didn't do anything. He ended up fifth that second moto. I think like we talked about, the heat just got to him, and maybe he was just like kind of cooked after that first moto.
Yeah, that's my opinion, but I mean, what the hell do I know?
Yeah.
But you could see a visible difference in the guys. That's what I'll put out there and say. And you know, you ain't got to be the head cashier at Walmart to know when somebody's got heat exhaustion. And he was right there, dude. That guy was glowing red, dude. You could have cooked an egg on him.
Yeah, that's wild. So yeah, going into the final round, 450 class, between Hunter, Chase, Jett, winner take all. Tomac fourth in points, 21 points back, and then you got AP. He's 26 back. So AP's had a rough go at it these first two races. Really, I think he's dealing with that shoulder injury. So hopefully that doesn't hinder him too much for the motocross of nations, because we need him, to be healthy. And we'll talk about the 250 class and Chance Hymas, but it's not looking too hot right now. So hopefully he can heal up. And but yeah, that's
Dude, our team USA right now is more effed up than a soup sandwich.
dude.
It is
It's not
not
good.
looking very sharp right now. I was talking to Jace after one of the motos, and I go, Team Australia
He,
is looking pretty solid right now. And he goes, yeah. He goes, man,
oof,
it's kind of rough for you boys, with Hymas going out. It's like, damn it, dude. I mean, I think we got to stick with who we got, but just a little sidebar, and we'll do donations preview show with Ping when he's. By the way, he should be getting off that fire pretty quick. I got into Ontario today, and it was actually sprinkling. Cold front came through, so good on them boys for saving all them mountain towns and
yeah,
not letting Big Bear burn. So we should get Ping back for uh, site lap and riders meeting for Vegas. So yeah, shout out to the boss man for holding it
dude.
down for all of us out here in California.
Yeah, I think he's probably ready for a break from all that. I can only imagine.
But he
So
doesn't even know what day it is. He goes, "Hey, what's today?" I'm like, Sunday, dude. The race was yeah,
yeah, yeah,
he's on Team Fried right now with Jason
yeah.
Anderson. Just
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that 450. Anything else in the 450 class?
Uh Justin Cooper, dude. He went
Oh yeah,
down,
bummer.
hurt his left arm. I guess they're gonna see how he is this week, but man, bummed for that dude.
I know he's
You know,
solid
what,
rookie year.
and what I was hoping that if for
Hmm.
some reason Hymas couldn't go, that Cooper would be a Hail Mary and go, but with a hurt arm, it's like, well, shit, who now?
Yeah, then RJ had that big get off second moto.
Yeah, Bruce talked to him, and apparently he did take a little nap, but he's feeling good. Feels 100%. As far as RJ hitting his head goes, it was a light one, but dude, that was dirty.
That was nasty.
In
Yeah.
that rhythm lane, the face it, just all those jumps, it looked like Carlsbad in the 80s, dude. It looked like cobblestone that, how California, Bakersfield, Northern California, that dirt turns to, it just
Just
looks like cracked
concrete.
concrete.
Hmm.
Looks like cracked concrete, but it was kind of greasy because the humidity in there, even though it was still hot, it was like 45% humidity, but there was rubber on the surface. It was
Yeah.
nuts, dude. Like you looked at the start straight and there was about 2 inches of clay on the start straight. And then out of every gate, there was just a trench and it was that cobbled, cracked concrete looking dirt underneath it with rubber on it. And we were all just sitting there going, what the frick is this? I was talking to Garth
Yeah.
Newman and I go, have you ever seen track that gnarly off the start? And he said, no,
Yeah.
never seen it. And that guy's been around since the Stone Age.
Yeah. What was crazy, I saw a picture of the takeoff of the finish line double, and yeah, it looked like there's just rubber, caked into the dirt. I'm just like, holy crap, dude. That was
Yeah, it looked
wild.
like turn two
Yeah,
of
Talladega. So,
Speedway. Yeah,
dude. Yeah.
Texas Motor Speedway. Look, turn two.
Dude,
By
wow.
the way, dude, that place, I know why they held the race there. That place is absolutely massive. I can't imagine. Could you imagine if we could fill up even half those stands with fans? I mean, I could not believe how big the grandstands and that place was, and it was impressive. So I think next year everybody's like, oh, they need to hold the race there. No, or somewhere else. I think they need to hold it there. It was a great time, great fans, great facility. Man, those people at Texas Motor Speedway were awesome. It's just the dirt was shit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like,
No, it looked like a cool. They showed it.
The track layout was tight, but that's good though because it forced everybody to get technical. You know, I know some guys shortened up their bikes, actually the length of the bikes,
Hmm.
and that made a big difference for them. But I think if they can figure out the dirt, and I'm sorry, but I've been working in Texas almost 30 years in the refining industry, dude, and people are like tripping over themselves to get on night shift. You
Yeah,
know, get out
yeah,
of that glowing
yeah,
orb of death floating in the sky they call the sun in Texas. Hold the race at night, people.
yeah,
That would
yeah,
solve it. I would rather have dealt with my nuts sticking to my leg with that humidity than that sun beating down, dude. It was
yeah,
freaking brutal, dude. So
yeah.
hopefully that's one of the discussions they have. You know, we had a lot of heat stress conversations
Oh
that
yeah, I can imagine.
normally wouldn't, even in the nationals, didn't have. And so I would love to go back to Texas Motor Speedway. The access to it's great. The crowd was great. It's just they need to bring in more sand and mix it in with that clay, so and then run it at night so it holds the water.
Yeah, no, for sure. It looked like a cool facility, and like you said, it looked massive. Some of the overhead shots they showed on TV, I was like, "Geez, man, that place is huge." So cool facility, but
Try
like,
walking around that thing, dude.
yeah, yeah,
Usually during an outdoor national, you can make 3 or 4 laps around an outdoor national track. You know, it may be 2 miles in length or whatever, a long national track, but it's all,
yeah.
dude, it took, you'd probably get 2 laps around the track in a 20-minute moto. That was it. You know, so you had to kind of
Pick a spot. Yeah,
pick and choose. Luckily, we had some access to the infield this time. We had zero access to the inside at Charlotte,
mm.
and I'm assuming we'll probably have zero access at Vegas to the inside on the drag strip area. It's going to be the same kind of format, but you know, we got to be safe out there. But running that place at night, we had good angles to shoot. It was just too damn hot, and
Yeah,
if they fix the track, if they bring in a shitload more sand, build the, like David said today, build the jump faces out of clay and make everything else just a sand track
yeah,
out.
I guess. Yeah, yeah, yep.
Go out to the Red River, send a bunch of semis out there, load up that just gnarly red sand that they had, and the sand sections were really good,
Yeah, the
dude.
sand was cool. Yeah,
They were gnarly. So imagine if that whole track was like that, and then you just had the jump faces. The rhythm lanes, I don't know how you solve that unless you send you know, the Bobcats in there to
yeah.
prep them to take
That's
the
what.
motos.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know because some of those, did you see that post that Deegan put out how
yeah,
tight those were out?
yeah.
You
It was
know,
wild, dude. Like there was
maybe
holes in the landing, and
yeah, maybe that might need a little more work,
yeah.
especially with running scoop tires out there. I'm kind of mad at myself that I didn't go look at the back of Tomac's tire
I
after
don't
the.
know how that dude would rent a scoop in those conditions, dude. That's
That
wild.
dude's gnarlier than hell, dude.
Yeah, that's insane. Like
That's
that
just
is not a
Tomac
track.
doing Tomac things, dude.
That is not a scoop tire track. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, that's 450 class. It's going to be fun. A battle to the end between those guys for the last round in Vegas. Before we jump into the 250 class, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors: Rock and Turf, UR Water. Hope you had a lot of that this weekend. Max's Tires, Speed Strap, Baja Designs, and BetOnline.ag. We'll talk a little bit about that next week during Site Lap for Vegas. So jump into the 250 class,
Hey, hold
and
on real quick. I want to talk about one of our sponsors. One thing I want to point out to everybody, that Rock and Turf mats, check those guys out, man. He can make you custom. If you got a pop-up tent, he can make you a custom turf setup for, if you're doing vendors or just at the track day. You know how nice that stuff is just to
yeah,
be able to walk on that and take that crap off. You're not walking in
and
dirt and mud.
dirt and
And when
everything
you get
else.
home, you just hose it out with your garden hose in your driveway. The changing mats are rad. I keep one just in my Forerunner for whatever I need, but it's just so nice changing on those. Even if you got those little sharp rocks that we love down here in California, don't got to deal with it.
Yeah,
Give them a shout. They can do custom mats for your car, all kinds of stuff. So we've been meaning to talk about Josh and what he's doing because he's hooking everybody up. You go to an event out here down in Southern California, there's rock and turf underneath the pads. So y'all people back out of California need to check them out.
yeah, that's cool. No, I've seen some of the stuff. Looks really nice. And like you said, it's
Oh, and hey, if you tell them Whiskey Throttle when you make an order, you get a sweet discount.
Perfect. There you go. Rock and Turf whiskey throttle discount. So let's hit him up. Yeah, 250 class. Haiden Deegan won one again. He's won all four motos. He's really done it both ways. Last week in the Charlotte, two bad starts, catches up, crushes everybody. This weekend, two good starts, gets out front, crushes everybody. Yeah, I just feel like he's on another level, and it's impressive. Again, if he's second year in the class and gets off outdoor title, and yeah, he unless I feel like the only person at this point that can beat Haiden is Haiden. Tom Bial got close in that second moto at the end, but the track at this point, I feel like Haiden he was like, yeah, I got it, so I'm just riding it. I'm gonna ride it home.
Yeah, Harley weekend, dude.
I would say, what do you do? What do you do to stop the Haiden Deegan train if you're Joe Shimoda, Tom Vial, Levi Kitchen? What do you do?
Get a broomstick and throw it through his spokes because that's about all that's going to work right now. That
Dude,
guy, yeah,
even hit his riding style, with the way that track Charlotte fit his riding style. It was loamy, he's going very fast and
his riding style is just go fast wherever he can,
but I'm
dude.
like in that hard pack stuff. I was like, man, maybe this will be something that throws him off. Nope.
So one thing I did notice about his riding, Friday during press, the track was still decent. It was wet. It hadn't turned into concrete. And he was getting froggy over the finish line double and the one after it. He threw the just
Upper
dirty
whips and so yeah.
scrub off that finish line. And yeah, and that step down,
Oh yeah. Before the
le-
mechanics area.
yeah, go on Whiskey Throttle, look at that one. Yeah, I don't know how the hell I caught it. I just was in the right place at the right time. But dude, he's got the bike leaned over, drifting a wheelie, slides it over the top of a tough block in the air as he's hitting over a break, and just shit that should have made him yard sale was able to do on Friday. If you watched his riding Saturday, it was strictly business. He
Yeah.
was
Yep.
he wasn't doing any of that stuff that he would normally do during a main event when he made a pass on somebody or was
Mm-hmm.
a little froggy. Wasn't doing none of that shit. It was keep that bike on two wheels. His biggest opponent on Saturday was that track.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And he was even doing that rhythm section coming towards the finish line a couple straights before it. He was actually going outside triple triple double, where most guys were going inside double triple or double double triple. So yeah, he was the only guy at 250 I saw do that, which was pretty sketchy with how hard that face was. Yeah, and again, he had bad starts last weekend. He said he worked on them. He gets two whole shots, and
In the shortest start we've had
yeah,
all year, Supercross or motocross.
yeah, that thing was short, man. I was
It was shorter
surprised.
than Detroit.
Dude, that was close. There was guys down, I feel like off every start. Malcolm and and Nicoletti got together that one moto, and I feel like Pierce Brown.
Phil put a post up. Today is the day or the reason why I'm retired.
I saw that dude did not have a good day.
He
Yeah,
still wrote it out though. He
eh,
wasn't no punk. He kept it going. He kept ripping.
I could just see him leave that place. Just like, I hate this place, So,
I have to deal with this shit next year.
yeah, Hayden Diggin, like I said, won all four motos so far. He has a 19-point lead over Tom Vial. So yeah, basically, if Deegan ends up on the podium in Vegas overall, regardless of who wins, because Vial's in second, 19 down, Deegan's still the champion. So, I mean, anything's possible. But I just feel like with Hayden's confidence and the way he's riding, it's gonna be hard for him to finish off the podium.
He'd have to DNF to lose it at this point, I
Yeah,
think.
or big crash, and what something like that. And again, we really haven't seen a ride out of his comfort zone. I know anything can happen, but I feel like he's got a pretty good hold on this thing. So
Well, that's why we run them because we can,
mhm.
morons like us can speculate all we want. The experts
Yeah,
can speculate all they want, but till you run the gate and the checkered flag drops, it don't mean shit.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, Tom Vial, he's 19 points back, solid ride from Tom this weekend, and he was kind of inching up on Hayden that second moto, get
Yeah, he was
second.
riding good the second moto.
Yeah, again, he's not. I'm curious, and I tried to ask him this question in the press conference. I don't know if he really understood the way I asked it, but I was thinking, has he ever seen a track like this at all? He's riding Supercross, which he's not that familiar with, and he's riding this track that's just completely baked. And so,
Well, in Europe though, that they don't ride prep tracks over there. If you watch videos of all those guys
mhm,
riding in Italy, I mean, they're riding on concrete,
that's
and they ride on the roughest, nastiest shit. They don't ride on prep tracks for practice. They go ride whatever. It's just
yeah, and I could see that like on an outdoor track, but with like rhythm sections and like that triple before the finish line, I thought it was going to get somebody on Saturday, but luckily it didn't because that thing was could have been sketch coming out of that
oh, that
corner.
little triple out of the tunnel.
Yeah, yeah, I was
Yeah, that thing really didn't bite anybody.
yeah, which I was surprised because the I figured someone was going to get some wheel spin or something out of that corner, and it wouldn't
They
have been
they
good.
were getting good momentum out of that tunnel. It was just kind of their speed was carrying them over that.
Yeah, that's good. Joe Shimoda 2-3, good ride from Joe.
He looked really good.
Yeah, I mean, he broke his collarbone, a little over a month ago. So he, second race back from a broken collarbone, and he ends up on the podium 2-3 on the day. Yeah, he really doesn't look like he's missed a whole lot with being off the bike.
Somebody needs to tell Joe that the Supercross season starts at the end of September, and then like make him just go do some motos and tell him everybody forgot to show up, and it's just time to shine. So that way in January he's ready to go, and we get mid late season Joe.
I know.
Right.
Yeah, I know. It'll be
That's
interesting.
so freaking fast when he's on, and it's like, why does he start so slow? I don't know.
It's almost like he has to prove to himself every year, like in his brain, that he belongs there. Then by the time he gets to where he needs to be, it's too late. I don't know, but
He
yeah.
needs to
So
do for an octane sushi or some shit. I don't know.
no kidding.
Yeah, he needs to do something. But God, man, the guy's so fun to watch. He's so damn fast when he's on.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then yeah, the Pro Circuit Cowie boys, I want to group them all together because they were all around each other a lot this weekend, and there are a lot of them were on the ground. So Levi Kitchen, he gets fourth overall 7-4. He was up there in both motos, and I don't know if it's the heat, the track, or whatever, but he kind of slid back. And then between Cameron McAdoo, Ty Masterpool, and those guys were literally and Garrett Marchbanks, those guys were on the ground every time they had the camera on them. They're riding good, but if not, if it wasn't Masterpool going down, then it was Marchbanks. I don't know if you saw that off course excursion that Masterpool had on the grass. He
No.
he jumped off the track. He got all squirrely, jumped off the track, landed the grass. He was trying to go get back on, and he hit it like a pothole that was out there, and he just wrecked. So,
Yeah, it was one of those days where Mitch would have probably just rolled his wheelchair down the jetway today if there's no plane and just rolled right off the end. He looked really stoked this morning. I mean, he was fine, but yeah,
yeah.
it's one of those days where you're just like, oh my God.
And all the guys were up there too. Ty was up front, both motos before he had his issues. Same with Garrett, second moto. Yeah, it just wasn't their weekend. But yeah, I mean, all those guys showed they had speed. It's just bad bad luck on the weekend.
I asked one of the mechanics, do you guys do anything, or what are you guys doing special for this? And they go, well, we just kind of run an outdoor spec or a supercross spec, probably being vague with me because I'm a media douchebag, but
Yeah,
um, I kind of found that was a little odd where everybody else was pretty open, like, well, we're trying this and this and this. And, with the tightness of that track, a lot of people were shortening their wheelbase up.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, and
Interesting.
I feel like, and even Stewart pointed it out on the broadcast. Some of the guys that we were watching, you could see the guys that had, and I don't know if it was their outdoor setting or supercross setting that was softened up, but the guys that had softer setup, their bike looked a lot more compliant. And like Tomac's bike, especially that first moto when they were showing him on the camera a lot, like his bike was handling really good. And then when they panned Chase, he just had a lot of chop, head shake going in through on some of that stuff. And I don't know if it's because it's stiffer and he's
I
going
think
across
it's
these
that
bumps.
KTM, man. There's a lot of people not stoked on that bike right now. I
Yeah,
don't, KTM was so money for years, and I don't know what they're doing.
yeah, I don't know. Again, I'm sure it was frustrating for Chase. He got that second moto win, but we'll see. What he does in Vegas. Anybody else in the 250 class? I got one more shout out I want to give. Nick Romano, been kind of the lost guy over there at Star. He was out pretty much for a whole year last year with his ACL injury. Hasn't really lit the world on fire, but to get ninth overall when I feel like he's being, a little written off from Star, and maybe he deserves a little bit because he hasn't always had the best results. But yeah, shout out to Nick Romano, 13-8 for ninth overall. Yeah, good ride for a guy that really hasn't been in the top 10 a lot.
Yeah, all right. Well, you're about to lose your Bakersfield card for calling out Romano and not giving Jett some love for
I
being
haven't
the
got.
for being fastest unseated qualifier and leading wire to wire
I
in the
saw. Yeah.
LTQ, battling Cameron McAdoo, fending him off, getting blown off the track, and still fighting back and winning.
That
So
was sick.
you just got your Bakersfield card yanked.
Yeah.
You're a chump, dude.
I mean, hey, you didn't even give me a
You need to
chance to
move to
get.
Visalia, dude.
Couldn't give me an opportunity to get a chance to talk about
No,
it.
you had your one. You had your guy. You had your
I
guy. You chose Romano. You chose a New
just had
York.
to give him some love,
You chose a New Yorker over your boy in
I
California. You need to pack your shit and move to Visalia.
sent text. I sent Jett a text, and so yeah, I was because he rode good, right? Qualified, like you said, fast as his qualifying and B practice over McAdoo. Won the LCQ over McAdoo. That was a pretty good battle for 2 laps, and then yeah, both motos. He was first moto. He's up there in like 13th.
He ate it in the first moto.
Yeah, I was saying he was 13th until about like 3 minutes to go, and then I saw him drop to, basically laps down. Where'd he crash at?
No clue. I just saw him disappear out of the lineup, and so I went and talked to one of the team guys over at the by the start gate, and I said, "Hey, he crashed." And I said, "Yeah." So is he good? He goes, "Yeah, he's just a little banged up. He's sore." So when he does that, I just kind of leave him alone the rest of the day. I'll probably call him on Wednesday when I'm driving back to Texas and give him some shit. Yeah, dude,
Yeah,
you're so good, and then you just lawn darted yourself. You're not trying to be a yard gnome, buddy.
yeah, same thing. Second moto, he was up in 13th, 14th for a while. And then yeah, I saw him. He must have again another issue. He went all the way back to last. So then I think he got back up to 17th. But yeah, man.
I think he did 13, 17 in the motos for something overall, something like that.
Yeah, it was well. First moto, he was in 13th and he crashed. He ended up like 19th or something.
He,
But
he ended up uh he ended up 19th overall. Yeah, he was he ended up 2017th. That's what it was.
yeah. So again, he was showing speed all day, and yeah, he was in the top 15. He's like I said in that 13th, 12, 13 range, and yeah, again had some issues, but yeah, he's showing some speed, and I think it's as long as he stays healthy, it's trending in the right direction. Because the thing you got to think about is this is everybody combined like the outdoors. Where when we get to Supercross next year, we're going to be split. So if you're running around the top 15, you could be in the top 10 in your coast. So I think things are trending in the right direction for him.
Hey, one more thing. I want to give a shout out to Carson Mumford.
Oh yeah, dude.
I didn't see the crash, but I saw him on the backboard when they pulled the chains down so he could come across. I'm assuming he crashed in the rhythm lane because they
He
came from,
did. Yeah, he did.
yeah, they came out of that rhythm lane and came through the chains across the start straight. And that dude was moaning in agony, dude. And I looked over and I just saw his leg and I was just like, oh, Jesus, dude. That dude went through some hell yesterday. It was hot. I mean, imagine compound fracture
Dude.
and laying in that heat. It
Dude,
was
you're sweating and
he broke his leg there. RJ took a nap there. Talon Hawkins, I was walking by and all of a sudden I hear this splat, just eats it. But I don't, that kid must be made of rubber because he hit the ground so freaking, he looked like Wile E. Coyote, just onto the concrete. And he gets up, grabs his bike, burns out on the tough block, he tears it all to shit, which was hilarious, and just takes off riding again. So good on Talon, dude.
Jeez. Yeah.
But
Yeah, that rhythm section got a lot of
that
people.
rhythm section claimed a lot of people, and Chase talked about it in the press conference. He's like, "Dude, I went out to the right." He
Yeah.
goes,
He
"I
said
went in." He goes, "I was not riding that crap. I knew it was slower. I didn't care that it was slower.
yep.
It was safer.
Yeah, he was getting that straight line coming from the outside where the guys on the inside were
And he
kind
had
of
traction."
yeah, the guys were turning up the lip of the jump, and if you're getting that wheel spin, it's not going to be good. So,
Yeah.
yeah, overall good weekend. So going into Vegas for 250 class, Hayden Deegan, obviously with the four moto wins, he's out front. He has 100 points, perfect, score for him. He's got a 19-point lead over Tom Vial, and he's got a 22-point lead over Levi Kitchen and 24 over Joe Shimoda. So again, I think Hayden, he's got to finish on the podium. Yeah, obviously there's always pressure, but I feel like he's in a good spot to wrap this thing up.
Yeah, I think Hayden's gonna win it. I think it's gonna be I think it's going to be Hayden, Juju, and Joe on the podium in the 250 class.
What
I
do
think
you? What do
Vegas,
you? Oh yeah,
I think Vegas is going to speak to Julian. Just, I mean, shit, he lives 2 hours away. So
yeah. He's probably used to those kind
he
of
could sleep in
conditions.
his own bed on Friday night if he wanted,
Yeah.
and then drive up in the morning if he chose. But I mean that there's not much difference in the topography between Lake Havasu and Vegas, except a couple rocks and a couple mountain goats. Um, I think it's going to be Hayden, Juju, and Shimoda for the overall podium there. And for the 450 class, I think it's going to be Rick Mellon, then Hayden, or I mean not Hayden, but Hunter and then Jett. I think Hunter's going to carry some momentum. And
Who'd you?
all seriously, I think Hunter's going to win it.
I was saying, who'd you say first? Rick Mellon?
Oh, Jesus Christ, Junior. Next.
Don't know who you're talking about. Anyway, uh, so you think Hunter's gonna take the overall, huh?
All the older dudes who watch this will know what I'm talking about, and they'll be like, hey, man, go change your diaper, Junior.
Perfect. Hey,
I'm just giving you shit.
no, I know.
No, I think it's going to be. I don't know why. I just think it's going to be Hunter. I think he's got enough in the tank, and there's enough points in between him and Jett. I don't think Chase is going to do it. I think the bike's still
Mhm.
an issue. I just think it's Hunter's time. I just got that feeling, and I think it's going to be him.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be we throw a rock and throw a dart at blindfolded, but it's gonna be. I think it's cool that we're going to the final round and winner take all. So it should be some good racing. I think Jett
So there's your reference. Winners take all.
winners take all, and I think Jett is gonna take it all. I think he's really pissed off after this weekend. Like
Right,
you
what
know,
happened?
yeah, I would say like what we saw, like you said, wasn't what really what went down. So I'm sure he's pretty frustrated and fired up, and he just wants to show these guys, yeah, you guys got a little confidence from last weekend, but I'm just gonna crush you guys this weekend. So I think Jett will take it. 250 class, Hayden. And it's not going to take a whole lot for him to wrap it up, so I'll take him for the
If Jett beats
championship.
Hunter, if Jett beats Hunter when Jett has children, he better keep an eye on Hunter when he's holding the baby because he might accidentally, oops, I dropped him. Sorry, or smother him with a pillow. Not the
Seriously,
kid, not the kid, Jett.
yeah,
But
for sure, yeah.
yeah, there's only so many times you can get beat by your brother before you just Bart Simpson his ass.
Yeah. Oh, that first moto felt good this
Oh yeah,
weekend.
yeah.
When even though Jet stalled, it doesn't matter. Racing's racing, and he got that win. He was just inside. Hunter was probably just like, "Ah, thank
Yeah,
God."
I mean, he led for so long, and they were like, "Yeah, holy
Yeah.
crap, he's gonna do it." And then Jet passed him. I'm like, "What a greedy dick,"
I know. Like, come
And then
on.
he stalled the bike, and I'm like, "Oh, false hope again." And then he pulled it off. So
Yeah. Yep.
I was pretty bitching, dude. And then
It
here,
was.
he's like, "Oh my god, he's got enough." What he passed Cooper Webb. Oh my god,
Oh
he's
yeah.
got
Yeah.
points now. That'll do it. And it's like you would hear
Hmm.
that in the next county. Weege was yelling that so
Yeah.
loud.
That's funny. Yeah.
It's
That's
pretty
cool.
cool.
Anything else? I think that's it. And we're on to Vegas.
That's it. We'll talk to you on Thursday.
Awesome, guys. See you guys for Sight Lap this week.
If you like this video, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos, comment what you thought, and share it with your friends.